caregiver in the ancient recorded history. Why again I'm telling is, if you see, we all say, those days we say for hospital acute infection, we used to call as a nosocomial infection. I hope every one of us remember, those who are in my age group, definitely they will be remembering, and even now. So in the ancient Rome, in the military hospital, male nurses were called as a nosocomi. So I was just thinking in a lighter note, I hope male nurses don't take it as offended. Just a lighter note, there is something named after their legacy. That is why it's called nosocomi male or nosocomial or hospital acute infection. Just a lighter note, please. So there is a evidence in the history. There is a male nurses were always there. And you can see here, this is much more really authenticated thing. I think male nurses should be very proud of this. I told you in the 15th century, the saints were the one who were really doing the nursing care to the poor and the needy and the dying and the suffering people, and in the war and during the plague. That time, during the 15th century, Saint Camillus is the one who made a unique symbol to identify the male caregivers. That is the Red Cross. You can see it is the Red Cross. It's a unique symbol identified the male caregivers. You all know now this remains the universal symbol of a healthcare today in the Red Cross area, right? So this is especially used in the army area. Even anywhere you can see healthcare, they put a plus symbol, and it belongs to the healthcare. So such a legacy male nurses are having here. And that's about the real touch with the history a little bit. And now we need to know the regulations. If you see the first regulation, that self-regulation to register the nurses, to have a training, a formal training to be given, all that were planned and in 1990, the first register was being framed. That is by the Great Britain, and in that men were not restricted. Men were restricted to enter into the separate register. You can see the separate register here, supplementary part of the register. They are not even allowed. You imagine, it is 1990. 1850, Florence Nightingale have already established a school, nursing school for women. So there is a women era is already happening in the field of nursing. So that time they were not even allowed to join along with the other fellows female register. So if you read the history, they are quite interesting. They used to bully them. You are a supplementary.
Ma'am, your voice is muted.
Sorry.
Ma'am, please unmute.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Okay, then I'll just go back with this slide. Okay, right. In the history, you see the 19th century started to happen. In 1919, the first self-regulation for nursing started to begin. For men, in that, men nurses were restricted to have a separate register. You can see the register here. You can see. You can see the separate register over here with all the names are given, and this is the first register published in 1922 in the Great Britain. There was a general register reserved for women nurses, and a supplementary for men, for which male nurses have to fight and say, we don't want to be a supplement, we are also registered nurse, we want to be in a general register. So they fought for it, and it was lifted in 1949. I think Mr. Santosh, it's keep coming me something, waiting room, people are there. What should I do?
Ma'am, as I have allowed them to participate now, admit all. Whenever there is a free, they can join it. There is no any restriction.
Okay, no, it's coming to me, I'm not able to switch over my slide then when it comes. Okay.
Okay, then, yeah, now you can do it. Now you are doing it.
Yeah, now I'm doing it. Yeah. All right. So emergence of male nursing education in India. So we all should know how male nursing has started to coming in here. So you all know in 1901, the 10 British trained nurses came over to Madras Presidency to look after the British Army soldiers. So that time, what happened? The Missionary Medical Association of India, they sent missionary nurses to India in 1905. They were the people who first established a formal nursing service education in India. If you see now, what we all very popularly known as Christian Medical Association of India, which is earlier it is called as a South India Board examination, which was established in 1911, and North India Board examination, which was established in 1912, and Mid India Exam Board 1934. See, this is the first board which was permitted in India by the Britishers for the nurses to have a formal education and training with the proper school and registration followed on. So these are the people in 3 different domains like South India, Mid India, and North India. And later, after independence, it's all combined together as a Christian Medical Association of India, which is a approved board even after independence under Indian Nursing Council in part 1 and part 2 of the schedule of recognized boards and universities. So that much legacy they had, and they are the only people who were permitted to recognize the institutions. So then these people are the first people to establish a nursing education in India. So what about the male nursing concern? And you can see here in Tamil Nadu, you know, the premier nursing council in Southeast Asia is Tamil Nadu Nurses and Midwives Council. It was then called as the Madras Nurses and Midwifery Council. It was established. The act came in 1926, and it got executed in 1928. And it clearly says after 3 years of existence of this act, nobody should be practicing without a valid license in this whole country. But unfortunately, many of the state council have not really taken up that legal battle. And I think Tamil Nadu is really fighting for it. As long as I knew, I'm fighting for the past 8 years to make the people to, you know, this unqualified nurses to be taken off from the society. Every time I fight for it. So this is the first male nursing school, 1921. First school of nursing as established in Scudder Memorial Hospital, Ranipet, Tamil Nadu in Vellore district. So this is the first school of nursing exclusively for male in India, I could say definitely. Because the whole India from Orissa, from Himachal Pradesh and everywhere were registering here, even Scottish nurses, Thailand nurses, British nurses were registered in this council those days. In 1924, first batch of male students passed out their CMA examination. I just put it for people convenience. Christian Medical Association of India. Actually, this is South India Board examination they passed out. So in 1933, in 1933, as per the TNMC Act, I think most of you people must be wondering what is happening. You know, those days, even if today the Act is not modified, first the Nursing Council should come for inspection and see the feasibility of conducting the training. And after 3 years, they will recommend to the government of that government that this institution could be recognized, and the particular institution is recognized, and then only they will be allowed to register in the nurse register. So in that way, you can see in 1933, the Ranipet Scudder Memorial Hospital was recognized to train male nurses in English medium and permitted to register in the nurse register, which was maintained by the Madras Nurses and Midwives Council at that time. So you can see here, very quite interesting. As I told you, the Premier Nursing Council is the Madras Nurses and Midwives Council. Now it is renamed after 1960, Tamil Nadu Nurses and Midwives Council. And 1931 is the first nurse register was published. I told you the act came into execution in 1928. After 3 years, nobody should practice without a valid license. So the first nurse register was published in 1931. And you can see here a couple here in the right side, here corner. This is Mr. Rajaratnam, who is the first male nurse who is registered with our council. And this first, in 1921, Miss Nudwig, that is her name. If you could see here my camera, she is Miss Nudwig. She is the one who started the male nursing school at Ranipet Scudder Memorial Hospital in 1921 with 2 male nursing students. One is Devasundaram and the other person is, you can read it here, Devasundaram and Rajaratnam, these 2 people. And 1922, 2 female nurses joining with them. One is Sundari and one is Padmavati, and you can see the lovely couple. I think they had their great time, and Mr. Rajaratnam and Ms. Padmavati, they united in family life also, and they have written this souvenir in 1973, 50th year celebration. They have Mr. Rajaratnam has given this write-up to Scudder Memorial Hospital that how much they enjoyed studying under that time Dr. Scudder. He used to teach about materia medica, anatomy, and Dr. Scudder used to help them to cut the frog and dogs to know the anatomy, it seems. And Miss Nudvig, being a nurse, she used to teach nursing procedure, nursing arts, all that they have written here, and they have shared their green memories, fondly remembered Miss Nudvig and Dr. Scudder during their period of training. And on top of it, you can see here, and his son also graduated from the same institution between 1952-53. So this is the legacy of this of our country and especially of our state, that the first male nursing school of nursing started here. And you can see here how does it look like. And I don't have the 1931 front page, so I have put you the 1938 front page, the Madras Nurses and Midwives Council for 1938. This is the nurse register, and you can see here clearly after the publication of the the name of the printed registered nurses and midwives, the last edition of the register alone is the legal evidence of registration. So see how beautifully, meticulously they have done these procedures. The register, how it is meticulously maintained for a male separately and female separately, and the midwife separately, the eyes separately, all that being so beautifully done here. Why I'm bringing here, you should see here, and you can see here number 7, Mr. Rajaratnam, I told you, is the first nurse who completed in 1924, but he registered only in 1932, whereas his classmate Deva Sundaram, he registered in 1931. You can see the cursor where I'm taking on, and you can see here. So this is you must be wondering, what is this F register and G register? See, there is a segregation here. Section F register denotes to the male nurses who studied in an English medium. Okay, you can see only 9 nurses in 1931. And you can see here in 1934 in the G register where the male nurses, 11 male nurses who studied the nursing in a vernacular language. And the description is given in the side. You can see here. You can see all A, B, C, D and all. Here F represents a male nurse trained in English language. G represents male nurse trained in vernacular language. You must be wondering, what is this? This is only part 2. This is a midwife register. So that much, but I was just wondering, like I just discussed with you earlier, in 1919 in the Great Britain, the men nurses had a separate register, supplementary register. Almost it looks like the same for me. There is a separate register under F section. They were not mingled with the common register like A and B section where foreign nurses trained and Indian nurses trained. The men nurses were not permitted to mingle with this general register. But after independence in 1960, the act was re-amended, and now male and female nurses are clubbed together under section part 1B section. If they are a male nurse who studied in nursing, and he will be coming under part 1B section. So this is how it has been. Even in India, that segregation was there, but it was lifted off in 1960. So this is the thing everyone should know. And as I told you earlier, the first state council should go for inspection to the institution, and they should see the feasibility, and they recommend to the government, and then the government give the government order for the particular institution stating that institution can register the name. If the nursing council can register the name of the student. You can see here under Rule 37 of the rule made under Section 12 of the Madras Nurses and Midwives Act 1926, the government approved the proposal of Madras Nurses and Midwives Council that the hospital mentioned in the list appended to this order should be treated as approved institution for the training of nurses and midwives for the purpose of admission to the register. See how beautifully it has given. So you can see here and here, two places I just put it. Scudder Memorial Hospital, Ranipet. Training of male nurses will be in English, while that of a female nurses will be in vernacular in diseases of women and children. So this is the legacy. The first order from the mission area, mission field is in 1933. They are getting this first order to run the male nursing school, but already they got approval from the Madras Nurse and Midwives Council. They were running, but to enter into the register, they are getting the permission in 1933. That too, if you read the history, Miss Nordvik, their teacher, the nursing superintendent, she really fought for so much for these two men. And you know, she wanted those men to enter into the register of the nurses. And she wrote so many letters, and quite interesting to read the history of our council, how she was lobbying, and she even lobbied men nurses have studied in English. They both are passed up to SLC and they joined. Why don't they be recommended to the A grade register, which is usually given for a British nurses? So she even recommending that much for those male nurses. So we can think how much effectively and efficiently they would have worked at that time. So that is why they are getting such recognition. Only through those letters we can understand these sort of things. The next one is government. So this is the mission field, okay? So you can think it as a private or a mission field. So what is happening in our government institutions? What about the Madras presidency? What is this doing without starting up? You know, Madras is the first institution which started the School of Nursing for female. But what about the male nurses, whether they were permitted? Not at all. Up to 1939, they were not permitted. Male nurses were not inducted into the system of the health hospital. But whereas in 1939, Mr. G.H. Cook, the Secretary of Government of Madras, approved the rules of training for male nursing students. So the first batch of male nursing student training was permitted from January 1st, 1939 at government hospitals in Madras, Rayapuram, Visakhapatnam, Guntur, Salem, Tanjore, Calicut, Coimbatore, and Mangalore were permitted to admit the males. So this is the first time in the government sector from 1939, they are recruiting the male students for training. You can see the government order for this, approved rules amended. You can see approved rules for the training of the male nurses in government hospital in Madras presently, which is being approved in 1939. And coming to the male nurses representation, as I told you, this council is the premier nursing council. We have a data from 1929 onwards. Our first register was published in 1931, and you can see here the representation of a male from 1929 to 1998. It is only 1,420 male nurses, right? And between 1999 to 2019, it is really going to the sky level, 12,857 when we compare to the 1,420. Imagine this is about 70 years. They have just had up to 1,420 here. Within 18 years, we are going into 10 and 11-fold higher. 12,857 male nurses were admitted for registered in this council. Coming to the, I'm just going to give you the detailed data, how many male nurses, how many female nurses from 1998 to 2019. That is the era really, most of the new schools have come, colleges have come, lot of things started happening in the nursing. The men started to really enter into the field in a big way after so much of a nursing, nursing profession occupied by the female nurses. Here, if you see here, the diploma nurses, the male nurses, 4,416 out over the population of female nurses, 89,209. So imagine it is very less. And here also, when you think of degree holder nurses, it is men nurses are 8,441 and over the population of 74,736. If you add to these two figures, it will come around 1,60,000 and odd. But the population here only it is around 11,000 and odd it comes. So that means they are just occupying 6 to 7% of our population in the present scenario. This is the male representation at in today's scenario. And I want to give you from our records, we have started the renewal of license from 2013 onward. So as per the record which is available, some people may not even renew the licenses. So whatever the licenses we have having in our record, I'm giving you the male nurses representation in different fields. Educational sector, it is about 100 nurses. Clinical side, it's about 3,000 nurses. Public health, no, nothing is there in our record. But maybe because new MRB recruitment has come, so people must be really there in public health sector also in other in Tamil Nadu. I'm just giving you a Tamil Nadu figure. No, I'm not denoting to any other figure. In the administration, either it could be a principal or it could be a CNO from private and government sector. It is male representation is only 10 people are there. So this is a very, very meager figure, so which really denotes how much they are really far behind us in the female dominated profession. So this is about the history of the profession. Let us see how the DNA played a big part in male nurses to improve the male nurse status. As you all know, TNA being established in 1908, and when the first Madras presidency started in 1939 to admit the male nursing student, TNA welcomed and they have written a letter also, and the letter number 2951 dated January 23rd, 1939. And they say the status of men nurses, they were not provided at that time hostel and other facilities. They were lobbying for them to have such things. And also they have said in letter number 1902 that nurses should be recruited, the basic educational qualification should be SSLC and higher, and they should be fluent in English and mandatory at city level and relax only at the Mafsul level if necessary. So these are all the things TNA also lobbied for male nurses in the history. And coming to, so listening to all those history, what is our statistics, and I just want to concentrate on what were the consequences happened to men in nursing because of the 19th century and modern era and women dominated profession after that. So what has happened? So there is an end happened to the men in nursing in the 18th century after Florence Nightingale brought the reformation in nursing. But we should appreciate her. She had a vision to make it nursing as a professional course, and she thought men will be only to be practiced in insane asylums or in the operation theater, or they should be doing in public health department or something like that. So what happened? So much of a discrimination bias. Most of the men exited from the profession because of their gender difference. So here, when you see men, and also Florence Nightingale, she did not give the admission to male students in her nursing school. So she bluntly said, every woman is a nurse. Men have no place in nursing except where physical strength is needed. This is what her concept. So she thought men as really a male attendant, and there was no formal education given to them. Only 18 months education was given compared to a 3-year education which is given for women students at Nightingale schools of nursing. So here, and also the institutional bias which has happened in England, as I told you earlier in my initial presentation. The first Regulation Act in Britain came in 1919, and they had segregated the men not to enter into the general register. They had a supplementary register. To fight for that and allow them to entry into Part 2 as a male register, it took them late 1960s. And also it is becoming a more of a female profession. So we all say it's a matriarchal profession, not a patriarchal profession. And you can see here between 1921 and 1938, only 435 male nurses were registered in Britain Nurse Register, over to 97,028 women population at that time. So this is very, very meager 0.004% of a male nurses represented. And also in USA, we have to see the other part of a developed country, even men nurses were not allowed in the to be a member of the American Nurses Association till 1930, that means 19th century. And also they were not, even 19th century and early part of the 20th century, they were not allowed to be a member. And in 1901, the Army Nurse Corps was formally only for women were allowed to serve as nurses. So in my earlier presentation, I said in 1850s, men were the people who were occupying the Army of Nurse Corps. And later in 1901, when women were the one fully occupied as a nurse army corps. And this discriminatory policy was lifted only in 1955 in USA also. I think the same scenario prevails in our country also. If you see more of a nursing orderlies only in the army, whereas not the degree holder nurses. Some of the diploma nursing school, they have male nurses, but I never seen in College of Nursing male nurses being admitted, or when they have a direct recruitment also, male nurses are not being recruited. I think there is a discrimination. I think we need to lobby for this as professional for this cause. And what is the bias which given in a textbook? We are very familiar with the quadrant very book, very much, right? We in the first year we are fundamental of nursing goes into it. And if you see the history, there is no history being recorded after 300 AD. I mean before 300 AD, it starts only with 300 AD with women into nursing. And men, as I told you earlier, men are the caregivers in the past 20 years, predominantly in the history. Whereas there nothing been mentioned, only few mentionings about the religious order and brothers and the middle age. Otherwise, nothing be reported here. And also gender bias practice in the nursing education. If you see most of the nursing textbook, those times, and even presently also most of the nursing book, that it is mostly the female identity as being given for a nurse, not a male identity as given in the books. That is also one of the gender bias we face. And you know how the men influence in the men practice area. As I told you, men often select, as Florence Nightingale said, there are masculine, they should work only in the heavy lifting such areas. So even today we think as nurses, I think till 2005, we have given for a male nurses, and in lieu of midwifery, we have given as psychiatry, OT, ICU, or some other field like oncology, something like that only we have given. Not we have given other field, we have given easily like labor or something like that, we have not given. So men often select certain place of high specialties, that is psychiatry, OT, critical care and emergency care. I'm just thinking it may be because of the high tech and low touch, but the ingredient of nursing, we all say it is a hands-on touch and tender loving care. But here in this area, you know very well, it need an intellectual handling and a low touch. So that may be the reason men are more in those fields. And there is a gender bias restriction on practice. As I told you, we are all now talking about men in nursing. I should ask IF teacher, why not you thought about male midwife? Now I was just wondering, so from 2005 onwards, we started giving male nurses also registered midwife license. But is there anybody who is working in the labor or antenatal ward? I'm really wondering, as my knowledge, I have not heard that men nurses are working in the antenatal or postnatal or a labor room. So in that case, they are restricted in the obstetric and gynecology traditionally, and also in our country we have a cultural influence also, it is there. And also female clients, they often refuse to take care by the men, and because men always viewed as a potential threat, not only in our country, it is universal, and men's touch is often visualized as a sexualized, and men may be considered less acceptable in OB/GYN because of the relationship with the nurses is more intimate than with the physician. So that is the reason. And so these are all the restrictions which make them to stick on to these field of psychiatry and OG and CCU. And also as nurses, as a team members in the health industry, we have a different expectation about the male student. We often think them they should be like, they should because of their minority status, we expect them to be different, and we want them to take up a more assertive role, and we want them to take up to have a leadership qualities. And also men are often expected to take on physical role like a heavy lifting, security or an enforcer. So these are all the different expectations which prevails about the male nursing. In our country, this is no exception, though it has been a foreign author has been referred here, but this the same thing is expected here. Because when today I was just listening some podcast and TED talks, and they were telling like men nurses mostly, why did you take nursing? Why you didn't get an admission in a medical school, or you did not get any other course, or you compare any TV ad or media, never been nursing been as mentioned as in the TV. It's only denoted the female figure. It never mentioned with the male figure. And so far I have spoken about the contributing factor, about the based on the gender, the historical factor I spoke, nursing education and practice challenges I have spoken, and recruitment challenges, because many of the hospital, like earlier in this address, Mr. Santosh told, in central institutions, now they are bringing down the male recruitment to 20%, 80 to 20%. So these are all the discrimination is there. If at all there is a discrimination, the at least retention, because of the discrimination shown in the field. The male nurses mostly they don't stay. See, I had many male students studied under me when I was in the educational sector, and almost I would say oddly in each batch I will have 10 or 10 to 15 students, male students, throughout my career. But I could say definitely about 30% of them moved to either a policeman, or they have moved to law, or they have moved abroad, or they become a teacher or something like that. They have really moved out of the profession. But only one exception here, you can see the percentage of male nurses by country wide. This is some of few countries which we could get it from WHO report in by 2011 report I got it, and you can see here the Saudi Arabia alone has got a biggest number of the male nurses representation. So I was just really surprised to see that, because other countries you can see very well it is very less number being represented here. Maybe because there in Saudi Arabia, because it's a Muslim country, and maybe they were the women are not allowed by culturally to take up nursing. But I think the scenario is changing. But I do work in Saudi in 1990s and in late part of 2000, and in military hospital as well as in the civil hospitals, and or even in the educational sector. I have witnessed more of men nurses in the male wards, ICU, OTs in the Saudi. So there is a big, only in that country globally has got a more number of like 33% almost representation of male nurses in their country. And coming to WHO report to conclude my talk, this is the latest report 2020, and WHO separates the WHO region into 5 regions: Africa, America, and Southeast Asia. We fall under Southeast Asia, and you can see the Southeast Asia nurses population, female population is 19%, and male population is only 11%. So I told you in Tamil Nadu, it is only 6 to 7% of male representation. Maybe if we could do a study from all of the council in India, about 28 councils are there, and you could do, but I think it will also come to the almost same status only. Not, it will not cross more than 10%. So that is why, as I told you in my initial presentation itself, the triple effect report placed by the ICN, they advocate for the men in nursing. That is why they have given even this whole 2020 year of the nurse midwife. They want to celebrate 1 month as 1 month for male nurses. Even in Tamil Nadu Nursing Council, we had every month one slogan. I think exactly this month comes for men in nursing. I think fortunately I could able to speak about men in nursing in this forum. So this is to conclude. I would like to say my final thoughts. What should be? We have a great nursing shortage. The 2020 report says we have a 5.9 million nurses shortage, and India alone 2.1 million nurses shortage in our country. So what should we do? So we should think of allowing male also into our profession. So we cannot afford to be primarily one gendered profession again. We need to allow that. And men also actively recruited, and we should make strategies to retain them. And barriers that prevent the men's participation should be eliminated. And there is a question mark I leaving to everyone's mind: what about male midwife? When there is a male OBG doctor, not that much obstetrician male doctor, but still this will also emerge maybe after 50 years or 50 years. I think we should need to prepare our mind to what is the action point we need to take as nurse educators in the field, as nurse administrators, as nurses in the clinical area and the public health sector. In all the arena, we need to communicate to our student nurses the legacy of man as a caregivers with the history of nursing beyond 2000 years. And Nightingale was only the beginning of modern nursing practice. So we should give them, advocate them for that. and recognize the unique ways that men communicate and care differently, and celebrate this diversity in your program. So every one of you, I request you, when you admit the male student, give the special attention and see how they could be gelled and how their potential could be utilized, how that they could be utilized for advocating our own profession. All that could be done. Then acquaint yourself with the literature of men and providing intimate touch. So we need to go through the literature, how men contribution, how, as I told you, they were utilized only in the field of psychiatry or CCU one, because it's high tech and low touch. It is not so. Men also, I think a lot of movies have come now. Even when there's a women firefighter in the field where there is only full of male, and why not a male nurse who could really do advocate and sit and do things for us, and be intentional and support your male students. So in conclusion, the men, on contrary to the belief that only female or the female nurses are though female nurses are dominating, contrary to our belief, men also contributed. I think we should allow them and accept them. Let us not look into male nurses in a gender way. Let us consider nurse as a nurse. To that point, I conclude. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, I will address. Over to Santosh.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Madam, for giving your historical analysis of male nurses recruitment in India. And one of the important thing which I was delighted to, I was not knowing was how the male nurses were, let's say, we are going to binary, let's make it, it's not only gender is not only male and female, there are other many, gender goes beyond it. That let's not stick onto it, but important thing what Madam was suggesting is that, see how the discrimination was not there in that developed country too, which was surprising to me. And I think such kind of historical and such kind of study what you brought in today was very, very important for us to know. Personally, I was not aware of it, so it gave me a good information. Thank you for that. In response, I was looking at the chat boxes. There are two questions to you, ma'am.
Yes.
Can I share my screen? I have put them into PPT.
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone can read also.
Yeah.
So it will be easy for me also, for you too. I'll be sharing the screen. Can you see my screen now?
Not yet. I will just stop sharing myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The Laila Varki is works in a White Ribbon Alliance for Safe Motherhood, and she has said that NPM is a program which is run in Gujarat. There, the male nurses are, male midwives are existing in India. That is true to the fact which she is trying to communicate to us. Her question follows: please check first what women want. That's she has given about observation to the to areas that is needed. We have to look at the patriarchal society, any research and observational studies. That's the first comment of her, followed by, are MPHWs male considered nurses? If so, why? ANM courses is only for women, why? That's the important question she is posing again from the public health perspective, which is very important. Why only ANMs were considered women? That's a now she said NPM midwives are male in Gujarat. Please check. Okay, we will have a report of it. There's a report of it. We can read it. Female workforce participation is close to the lowest in India. That's what her comment. That is from Lila Varki. Added to that, I'll read out the second question from the rate.
I just finished up that one and then come back to one by one.
Okay. Please go ahead with this question.
Yeah, just put okay. A response to Ms. Leela Varki, right? First, check what women want. Okay, see, definitely women nurses want now. Our India is really, we have grown up, and if you take like Tamil Nadu and my postgraduate and the doctorate nursing personals have really increased. and people have not given highest position. I was just addressing a while 2 weeks ago in a forum where see the amount of strength given to the medical education is not given to the nursing education as such. There are about 700, 800 institutions in all over India. There are health universities, medical universities. There is not even one nursing university to represent the nurses issue, nurses education, and see what to be wanted. Of course, I agree with you. It's a patriarchal society. But however, patriarchal society, we cannot keep giving, then it is a gender bias. And we need to give equal importance to the matriarchal society also. And women, that is why women is so much occupied in this profession. And I did not see any research or observation as such and to the matriarchal society. But patriarchal society, there are a lot of studies are there in the nursing field. Why the nurse's voice not being heard? It is because of the patriarchal society.
Yeah, ma'am, sorry to disturb. I think what Lailavarki is trying to tell us is that what does woman at the user's perspective, it means, for example, mothers or woman who is coming to hospital, that perspective she will be asking the question. Over to you.
In that case also, right, it is the basically, that's what I said, it's in our country, culturally, we don't allow men in certain area, like a OBG, such areas, we don't allow in labor ward, antenatal ward or postnatal ward. But still very well they are taken into when they are at, because I work in CMC hospital and I have seen my male nurses working along with me in the female ward. And I don't see, except for personal needs, they look for a female nurses. And otherwise, they're very open even from the rural village. I think this is in 90s I'm talking about. I think it is now 30 years I have crossed. Definitely, there must be a remarkable changes with the media and technology. So I feel there should be a study to be conducted to see how the women are accepting us male nurses in the general area too. That needs to be done. Okay. Then regarding multi-purpose health worker, male not considered nurses. Why? I'm just wondering, in our state we don't consider them as nurses at all. They are just like an ordinary worker who does a public health department work, like a survey, sanitation, like a health inspector. They are looked into it. I'm not sure about in other states. And A&M course is only for women. Of course, if you see in the way back of the history, in the nursing council here, in 1960s, the male also was admitted in this A&M courses. But I don't know, when it comes to 1990s, it is stopped. I don't know the reason, but I don't feel any connectivity from my records. But I think there should be, every subcenter we have to say one male health worker and one female health worker should be there to address the issue, 5,000 population, because we are blended with male and female population. So I think there should be a need and we need to give it up. But I don't know, in each state having a different role. They say in one state health inspector, one state they say some other name. We need to bring a uniformity and uniform syllabus under one control. Then we can have such discrimination could be avoided. So that is one thing. Can you share your screen, Santosh?
Yeah, I am doing it, man. I'm doing it. Yeah? Screen share. I'm trying to make all questions again. Oops,
no, just put up and I'll
just answer. Can you see the screen now?
Yeah. Then female workforce participation to low. Of course, madam, I agree with you. Always, even a general study which is done, comparative to other countries, female work participation in our country, in general, it is very, very low. As you said, it's a patriarchal society. Very simple answer for that. That is why men also not taking up this nursing. Though they come in, I told you, my students itself 30% they go out to other professions. So that is one of the reason maybe. The second question?
Oh, sorry. Second question was related from Rekha. Rekha Anil Kumar. She is asking us when doctors can handle OBG or the gynae, then why not our male nurses restricted to work in those departments? That is, that's a comment. That's a comment.
Okay.
Do we have data of other states also? That's one of the questions. How many research have been done to access the data like this in other states? That's a good question. Post of male in teaching should be, but not direct recruitment for but no direct recruitment from last 24 years in central government either for men and women. She is telling about nursing education.
Okay, here let me address one thing regarding the recruitment. Even in Tamil Nadu, the nursing teacher post so far, no direct recruitment has happened. Okay, though such an advanced literate state, but we have not done. Even after 1890, after independence, about this 64 years later, only we could get even a private sector nurses to enter into the public sector hospital. So this is the scenario. I think we need a uniform lobbying. I think this is the era, this especially this corona pandemic time, we all come to a visible to the visible status. We need to advocate together with one voice. That is what we need here.
Yeah, can I go for next question, madam?
Yes, please.
Yeah, this is question from Jayasudha Alagara Swami. Sorry if I spell out the name wrongly. Ratio of admissions of male and female in the, as per the data, she is asking, posing a question.
As see, in Tamil Nadu, we have not given any restriction as such. You can admit any number of male students, but unfortunately, most of the private sector management and the mission hospital, they get the government order to admit only women students. They think men are problematic and all sorts of preconceived ideas are there. That is why I said we need to elevate, eliminate such feelings, and we need to advocate. And men nurses are very beautiful when we give them, good advice, counseling, and teach them. They are so good at doing, especially the tasks which we could advocate with the government and associations, and to fight for the right. They are the best person to really support the women nurses in this society, especially patriarchal society, and we need our masculine support.
Yeah, there's a thanks from Leela Work is stating thanks for answering. Now I go to next question. Can you see my screen now?
No, Santosh, I'm not.
No, I will share again. Sorry for this technical hiccups there and here. Next question is from Ajay Gulshan. He says that as a male nurse, how to overcome the situation when a female patient says, kindly ask the female nurse to take care of me in the normal settings. How can we overcome the situation? Whether we should move on or we should we stand for our right there, ma'am.
I think we need to respect the patient's priority. That is one of the first things being taught to us in our profession. It is her right whether she wants a male nurse, and once if you could able to convince her, fine. But if she is resistant, see, when I worked in developed countries, see, some of the men used to say, white men, I don't want to be cared by a black man. I can't go there, right? The discrimination was there. But I used to think in my mind, you are unfortunate to have my care, okay? Such a tender loving care. I used to think like that. So here, I think our society's portrayal is very important for doing. Maybe as I don't know what way, what capacity it works. I think it needs really a perseverant role, and making them to understand and to react to the situation, or he can have a companion, one nurse over there along with her, and giving them the confidence that it's going to be, he's going to really take care, nothing to worry. Even after that counseling, if she's not able to, I think we have to leave it to the priority of a woman what she wants.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. There's one person has raised the hand. Dharmesh, over to you. Please ask your question and be short and be direct to the point. Over to you. Please unmute yourself and go ahead. Dharmesh, please.
Hello.
The India is still lacking of the far behind about the accessible and affordable healthcare services to the rural people, to the people in the remote areas, ma'am. And actually, we are here discussing the topic that there is gender discrimination, then how the male nurses will work, ma'am. And I think, and in my opinion, and many of you people also have the same opinion, that the male nurses will be a key point at here to provide the accessible and affordable healthcare to the rural areas. And I think to the each and every area which is deprived from the proper healthcare services in our India. I think, madam, there is some medical mafia type people who are just restricting the male nurses to entry in the healthcare system, ma'am. While they are only interested to make money, ma'am, I think. because the male nurses and the total nursing profession is advocating people for their patients, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Dharmesh, that may be your personal opinion, but I would say, see, you say, of course, where is the, first of all, male nurses are entering into the field. See, in Tamil Nadu, I told you, maybe about, we have 190 colleges, maybe around 60 colleges only, they have a GO stating only they will admit women nurses. But what about the remaining colleges? They're ready to admit the male students. But you ask, you just do a small study by yourself. You go and ask a +2 child who's studying final year or to enter into the professional course. Ask her what is her professional choice. Nobody will say nurse. And I used to wonder, even in my own house, you know, in my sister's family or brother's family, they all think of a doctor because it's the doctors-driven society in India. That is one of the reasons. I told you why, because we have to look at the three pillars. I mean, again, I'm coming back to beating around the bush. The education and the association and the clinical governance. That is 3 points we need to remember in our mind very well. Because in the state regulatory bodies like nursing council, state government, directorates, and everywhere, we need to have a first nurse strengthening. Okay, so and also now we are all fighting for our central government institutions. They are not recruiting male nurses, so that also a real thing. And you said affordable and accessible care. I tell you, even women nurses could provide, not only male